Riots break out at California's Berkeley University over a speech against sanctuary campuses meant to protect undocumented immigrant students.
I'd like you to stay strong, stay steady and fast.
Resist.
New Yorkers voice support for a fictional country they believe is under threat from Russia as we test how rife anti-Russian sentiment is in America. A state-owned Swedish company wants to replace the country's language with a new one more inclusive for migrants, sparking angry exchanges. And here on RT International, we hear from both camps.
We've got to support people when they're here, give them the tools and give them the education to learn the culture, to learn the values, to learn the customs of a country.
If you want to come and live in Sweden, then you should learn the language. It's not for me to pay.
It is right now midday in Moscow. Thanks for joining us on RT International. A protest has turned violent at the University of California, Berkeley, where the editor of the conservative news website Breitbart and Trump supporter Milo Yiannopoulos was due to give a speech against sanctuary campuses for undocumented students. Activists smashed windows, including a building where Yiannopoulos was supposed to give a speech. The rioters, some masked in black, used baseball bats and stones to vandalize property. Police declared a lockdown across the campus and used rubber bullets and tear gas to disperse the crowds. Twitter users are posting pictures of Trump supporters being beaten and attacked with pepper spray.
Being here, and I think the protesters are doing the same. And props to them for the ones who are doing it non-violently, but I think that's a very rare thing indeed. So.
Are you surprised? Our
legislation. Berkeley riots are part of a wider California protest against Trump's recent executive order about temporary travel restrictions against Muslims and his proclaimed fight against illegal immigration. California legislators are now pushing for a bill that some think would turn their state into a haven for undocumented migrants. And documentary filmmaker Mike Stonovich told us who he thinks is to blame for the unrest.
The American media is creating hysteria amongst the population, amongst the people, to try to incite violence and to incite riots in order to get more ratings and to sell more commercials. So what happened tonight has been part of a broader pattern of the media attempting to incite violence against the people and against each other. The students here who are very hysterical, a lot of them actually aren't really students. A lot of them are just bad people. They're a criminal element who found out that this is a great way to commit crimes without any kind of punishment. The mayor of Berkeley encouraged the riots to happen. He posted on his Twitter account, "This is what happens when you try to spread hate speech." You don't hear the media saying that people need to become united. They're not blaming the Democrats for this. They're not saying that Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders or Tim Kaine should renounce this. There's clearly a double standard, and again, it's because I sincerely believe the American media wants to encourage this type of violence.
Well, another thing the media likes to encourage, that of the image of Russia as a threat. Caleb Mopand went onto the streets of New York to find out just how rife anti-Russian sentiment is these days.
Once again, American politicians are playing up the idea of a supposed Russian threat. David Petraeus is now lending his voice to the never-ending chorus of Russophobia.
The international order that America created is now under unprecedented threat from multiple directions. Iran, Russia, and China now working to establish a kind of sphere of influence over their respective near broads.
With Russia being accused of threatening so many countries, with so little evidence provided for any of these allegations, why not ask about one more? We decided to ask people what their opinion was about Russia's aggression against a fictional country we invented called Kyrgyzstan. Russia's been described as like aggressive and such in the news. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Russia is aggressive.
Now, lately, there's been some talk of their aggression against Kyrgyzstan. Have you heard this latest thing?
Yes, I have.
Vaguely, yeah.
Have you heard about this?
Sure.
Tell us about it.
I'm going to take a pass. Sorry. No, not that much.
I'm not aware of any aggression against. Which country was that?
Uzbekistan.
What country is that? Nice try.
Russia's known for that, and I think they're trying to adopt some of their old-style tactics of trying to conquer more territory.
Well, all I know, look, it's what they tried in Georgia. It's what they're doing in Ukraine. It's just a pattern.
We actually have this hashtag for, that's the capital. And so would you mind holding that? Sure. And can you, say your message for the people there again?
Yeah, I'd like you to stay strong, stay steady and fast, and don't allow anybody to intimidate you.
Just never give up hope. It may not be the USA who comes to lend you a hand, but there's somebody out there who will. There are very many other moral countries.
If you had a message for the people that are now facing this Russian aggression, what would you tell them?
Resist. Try to get the Americans involved, although with Trump it's going to be unlikely. We're in for a nightmare.
The anti-Russian tone of American media is relentless. It seems some Americans will buy anything that fits the narrative, but others simply don't accept it. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Such support for a fictional country really highlights how we should always question more. You are watching RT International. Respectful relations between the new U.S. administration and the media have ended almost before they began. That's according to Vice President Mike Pence. A guy in HGCAN looking into the negative and at times aggressive anti-Trump coverage.
What we've got to do is fight in Congress, fight in the courts, fight in the streets.
It's getting hot and heavy in Washington, D.C., with accusations and insults flying in all directions. One battleground, Capitol Hill.
I object to the senator disparaging a fellow member of the committee here in his absence.
He personally went after me. He personally impugned my integrity. You didn't object then, did you?
You can speak to it, but I think that we'd be better off if we just let it go.
The confirmation process of Trump's nominees for various top jobs has been as messy as you can imagine.
I'm very disappointed in this type of crap. I mean, my gosh, there's no excuse for it. Some of this is because they just don't like the president. I think they ought to stop posturing and acting like idiots.
We are only 1 month into 2017, and today we have another closed rule, or as I call them now, Putin rules. It's your way or the highway.
Whether one agrees with him or not, Trump's presidency has rattled the Washington establishment. Another flashpoint is between the White House and the media.
We have seen so many lies and conspiracy theories repeated by the President of the United States.
He has nothing but disdain for the rule of law and the Constitution.
This is one of the most radical inaugural speeches we've ever heard.
The disdain has been mutual.
You know, I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
Some members of the media were engaged in deliberately false reporting.
CNN, you are fake news.
This kind of dishonesty in the media, the challenging that bringing about our nation together is making it more difficult.
We have two parties in this country right now, pro-Trump and anti-Trump. And for the most part, the media are anti-Trump. It's that simple. It's not ideology, it's not platform, it is purely personal. What this president has done, he took a Twitter account, bypassed mainstream media. These news titans are now standing in the queue, waiting with the rest of us peasants to find out what's going on. I mean, he has just slapped this group because of, frankly, and I'm not saying this is true or warranted, but he's had it with them.
Word is out that the White House decided not to send its representatives onto CNN shows. The fight is on, but the rules are unclear. In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chakyan, RT.
Well, Donald Trump is not the only U.S. president to provoke so much negative reaction. Anissa Nawi takes a retrospective look.
I'm going to say something about Trump, and most of you will put me in a box of pro or anti. I dare you not to. But first, listen to this.
My dad passed away because we didn't have any medicine back then in Yemen because of the siege.
Sorry.
And my mom is now recently living in a destroyed house because of the airstrikes. and she wasn't able to come to the United States because of this decision. What could you help us to ensure that more families are not torn apart?
Your family is suffering because our president is reckless, and his administration is incompetent.
You couldn't have put it better. It was our reckless president who supplied the Saudis with illegal cluster bombs and fighter jets and watched allies bomb the hell out of Yemen. It was our reckless president who bombed Iraq and Libya. Syria doesn't even cover our list of countries we have torn apart and didn't give a about people or where they would go when we destroy their countries. Our presidents are reckless. And now there's another one. You can hate Trump, you can love Trump, I don't care, it's fine with me. But don't you dare pretend that American presidents aren't reckless.